You're doing all this all by yourself,
Yes,
huh?
I am.
So you're feeding the plant,
Yes.
tailings, digging the pay,
Yes.
Wow.
doing the cleanup,
Yes.
everything all by yourself.
All by myself, yes.
It's a lot of work for one guy.
It is.
Yes.
Ton of work.
Last year was actually my very first year setting all this up, trying to get everything all up and running. And of course, it took me all summer to go through, I would say about 40, 50 yards of material.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, not much at all, especially.
So that's all you've ran?
That's all I've ran through this plant.
Are you about out of savings?
Pretty much.
Really?
I'm losing a lot of money doing what I'm doing. We don't have nothing in the account. It's all invested into here.
You got any of your gold?
Actually, yes, I do.
That's really good looking gold,
That's
though.
beautiful gold. What kind of gold are you needing per day to make a living in here?
Well, I would like to at least pull out an ounce every second day,
So last summer, how much gold you get?
About 20 grams last year.
20 grams last year.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, not much at all.
20 grams of gold is worth roughly $1,200.
What's your goal for this year?
I need to make at least 40 ounces a season to get out of the red to get into the black.
Okay.
You
It's a big
know,
jump, yeah.
Is a huge step.
Terry needs more than 50 times that amount, around $70,000 in gold, to make up his losses.
Well, let's fire the plant up and run 4 hours
let's
and
do
see
it.
what we see.
All right, that sounds good with me, guys. Okay, Freddy, firing it up! All right.
First bucket, Wano,
Start the time.
4 hours.
First step in his process, Terry sifts out large boulders with a rock grizzly. He then feeds the pay into his 5-yard hopper feeder. A 35-foot conveyor belt carries this material to a pre-wash and shaker deck, where it is graded before it passes down into the sluices.
Pretty wet material, eh, Wano?
Yeah, very
Pretty
wet
damn.
material. You almost need the vibrator on that.
Yeah, it does. It's not gonna fall through. Stuff's just plugging up on that grizzly.
Time to go have a look here, see what's going on. This material's been sitting since last year.
So it's pretty wet, huh?
It's still wet, like it's already 2 years old. I'm very frustrated right now. I thought for sure that the material would be a little bit better. That even though I inline my hopper feeder, it's still sticking to the inside walls. So it's actually not sliding down where it's supposed to. Let's see what the heck here. I gotta bang the side, just to keep the material moving. Oh, okay.
Once through the hopper and into the shaker deck, the pay dirt splits into 3 different sluice runs: coarse, medium, and fine. A 4th run, for extra fines, passes through a centrifugal bowl that separates the gold by rotating at high speed.
What do you think, Juan?
I don't know, Brett. I'm not a big fan of that bowl.
No, I don't either.
Let me get a gold pan. I want to see what that bowl's puking out.
A centrifugal bowl is lined with rubber riffles. Mounted on a vertical shaft, it spins at over 100 RPM. This centrifugal force causes gold to travel upward along the inside of the bowl, to be pressed against the walls and caught beneath the rim. But if it becomes clogged with wet pay, gold escapes into the tailings pond.
Bit of material in there.
Two colors, Juan, or maybe 3. It's so fine that might need a magnifying glass.
Yeah, I see 2, Fred.
2 really fine ones, huh? I have a lot more faith in a really good sluice box than
I do
that
too.
bowl in there.
Running out of fuel means one-man Ben Terry's test run was just 3 hours, and with material constantly clogging, he only ran 6 yards of pay.
Moment of truth there.
Yeah, gotta make sure we get all that out.
.06.
0.06 for a 3-hour run.
Juan and myself, we've seen a lot of stuff. But this is almost the worst gold we found. You aren't gonna buy a new house with it.
0.06 ounces, worth around $100.
It's $15 a yard,
Okay.
which if you can run yardage, you can make money on it,
Awesome.
right?
Well, that's what I was
So if
hoping.
you can go from 2 yards an hour to, let's say 10, instead of $30 an hour like you're running now, it's $150 an hour. You just got to get more material going through that plant. You got the gold here.
If Terry can run 80 yards of pay instead of 16, he could make $1,200 a day and could exceed his half-an-ounce target to turn a profit. Freddy and Juan plan to set out the pay into V-shaped piles called windrows to dry it out before going through the plant. 2 vibrators on the hopper will stop any pay sticking to the walls. They will modify a counterweight on the pre-wash to help shake off any remaining pay. Finally, a new plumbing system will divert material away from the centrifugal bowl and into a brand new sluice box. But wash plant improvements are just half the battle.
Really, I think the biggest thing we need to work on here is his wife.
But she's
When it
scared
was-
of the
when it
equipment.
was- If we could turn this in from a one-man operation to a couple's operation.
And 2 people are going to do twice the production as 1.
Financially, Terry's already at rock bottom, and these fixes won't come cheap.
I know he's on a budget, but
Each
the
one of these-
vibrators are a few $100 a piece probably, right?
That's loose run and carpets and everything else, call it $3,200.
So we're at $3,200.
Yep.
You making more blisters, Terry?
Hey, guys. Yeah, I'm working on them.
Well, Juan and myself put some ideas together.
Starting with your grizzly, the way that you store your material. You actually leave it underneath the grizzly. Well, the problem there is it gets just sopping wet.
So our thoughts were grizzly it and then windrow it out here so the wind hits it and the sun hits it, and then put it in your plant.
The next one's gonna be obviously your hopper.
Yes.
So we talked about putting a vibrator on the top so it can help that material vibrate through the hopper. Next, we're gonna eliminate your bowl and
Okay.
actually have it all go down one sluice and extend it out.
And probably the biggest
yeah.
fix, this is going to be the hardest fix possibly as well. It'll be the cheapest fix, but
Up
the
for it.
hardest fix.
We'd like to get your wife introduced into being able to help a little bit more. You know, I know that this is something that you guys started
Yep.
together and you guys
Yes.
really loved it, right?
Yes.
Now that it's a little bit bigger, she's a little scared of it.
Yeah, she's
But what
been
if we took a little
intimidated.
time and we taught her how to run the excavator?
Okay. Well, my hat's off to you guys if you could do it.
See, that's
Honestly, you know, I've been wanting her to be a part since I've got this going, but she's intimidated to the size of the equipment.
Yeah.